Nobody wins when the family feels.
You right about now, they got it. We got to say to y'all niggas out there behind on our hustle. Get your money right, get your weight up.
Bshot, and I just jumped out of the port with Dirty Girl Bastard. Let's get it.
Atlanta, police found a man's body along Booker Avenue in southwest Atlanta. That's not too far from Pittman Park. Police are now working to find a suspect and a motive.
Police are now investigating a body found inside of a burning car.
Off camera, they told me the fire started as early as 2 in the morning when many were asleep. Some say they woke up to a loud boom, but here's the thing. Residents say they didn't see first responders until hours later.
Safe to say today, fam, we might be talking about one of Atlanta's oldest YNs. A man in his early 40s living like he in his early 20s. Or maybe a teenager. This man was just responsible for killing a young rapper from Atlanta brother, who happens to be an aspiring rapper himself. But the timing of all this is crazy. The rapper who just lost his brother, man, and he just lost his father just some months prior, on Thanksgiving. And to find out a female was involved, and the youngin' who was involved, well, he ended up cooperating. Turns out, this man lost his life for a very, very small number of narcotics. But what's even more crazy about this story is that this old YN from Atlanta, Georgia, was on a run for murder when he did this one. Now, in the last 48 hours, as mentioned, this perpetrator has been exposed to the world. But it come after the rapper was set to drop a revitalizing track on an album who we'll later discuss of the one and only Metro Boomin that was just released to date. It's Bittersweet. To know the perpetrator arrested for your brother murder, and you drop a track dedicated to him, revamping your career. Today we go over this story, pay our respects to those who lost their life, go over the details in chronological order. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. In the early 2010s, it would seem like Atlanta had a chokehold in the rap game. You had those like Pee Wee Longway, the Migos, 21 Savage, Bankroll Fresh, and many more. Now, another name that would come to mind to some people would be Jose Guapo, a Atlanta native who exploded on the scene with his breakout single Run It Up, featuring Takeoff from the Migos, May He Rest in Peace, and YFN Lucci back in 2015.
Niggas is one. All of my niggas is one. So that's some more millions plus one. So that's some more millions plus one.
Jose Guapo at that point wasn't new to the rap scene. At 15 years old, he would join a rap group called Rich Kids, which formed in the A in 2008 and signed to Columbia Records 4 years later. When the group disassembled, he went solo and continued to work, pushing and navigating his way through not only the obstacles in the music industry, but life overall. Growing up, Jose Guapo thought he had lost his dad to the system. After knowing at a very early age his dad was sentenced to life in jail, in a story that we once covered. I'll leave the link in the bio for those who want to check it out. Unfortunately, his dad was released. As mentioned, I went over that story in the bio, and he was able to spend 2 decades on this earth post-conviction as a free man. Now, Jose Guapo, dad had 11 children, in whom most all was close to each other. But unfortunately for Jose Guapo and his 10 other siblings, their dad was found dead last Thanksgiving in 2024. Atlanta police said Thursday at around 3 a.m., officers responded to a report of a person shot on the 1100 block of Booker Avenue Southwest. When they arrived, officers said they found the 52-year-old man with a gunshot wound. Medical personnel arrived and pronounced the victim dead on the scene. May he rest in peace. A love of condolences to his family.
Atlanta, police found a man's body along Booker Avenue in southwest Atlanta. That's not too far from Pittman Park. Police are now working to find a suspect and a motive.
Well, I'm the junior. I'm Markel Carter Jr. And I just want to say, I don't know if anybody noticed that my dad had a life sentence. So he had a murder drop to a manslaughter and was able to come home off of that case. And we shared 20 years with him behind that case. We was told a life sentence. We didn't know we was going to see our dad again or not. So just to have that blessing of them 20 years, I really appreciate that. And also, what was brought to my attention is that he did his job. As far as his kids, he did what every father want to do. See their kids grow up, strengthen up, and start their own family and blossom.
Now, the news of Jose Guapo's dad losing his life hit home for him and his siblings. It was tough. I mean, anyone can relate. Losing their dad, you can only imagine. But one of his siblings, who had a different mom from Jose Guapo, his wound was probably a little more deep, because not only did he had to bury his dad, but he also buried his mom just 2 years prior. His name was Brandon Cody, aka Bshot. As mentioned earlier in the video, he was an spine robber as well. His last tape that he put out was in dedication to his deceased mom, and he briefly spoke on that on his Off the Porch interview.
So that's how I come up with it.
All right, so get the new tape Choices out,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So first off, just explain that title.
Choices, man. I came up with choices, man, because, you know, like, life is about the choices, what you make. Whatever choice you decide to make, you know, like, that's your choice you got to live with. So if you know, basically how they say the saying is, live by the gun, die by the gun. So if you're a person that be living by the gun, you die by the gun. A hustler is a hustler. Whatever choice you decide to make. That's how I came up with it.
Okay. Yeah, you said this is dedicated to your mom,
Yeah,
your grandmother, and your uncle too.
Yeah. I lost all them around the same time, so I basically dedicated the mixtape to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I lost all them around the same time.
So what type of emotions did you go through while recording this project then?
I went through all the emotions, honestly. Ups, the downs, the times in the studio just sitting out by myself, the tears, the pain, like everything, like in that booth. But like I said, I try to stay motivated. So I always think about them. I know they'll want me to keep going. You know what I mean? Don't want me to give up. So it was many times I basically wanted to give up. Like I was saying, I ain't want to do music because going through that, taking them losses back to back. You know, I'm taking losses on the head, like back to back. So I came up with it. Sometimes I just stay in there and I just get that drive, that motivation. They'll just come back to me like to keep going. Something telling me to keep going. So when I step back in that booth, I go hard, I lay it down, I lay it out to them, and I give it to them.
But unfortunately, how life works, little did Bshot know, just 7 months after losing his dad, that gun violence and what authorities claim was allegedly drug-related. At just 32 years old, it's mentioned he would get gunned down as well. Apparently, it was a deadly setup with a young man who was in his early 40s on a run for murder, a young woman in her early 30s, and a teenager who told it all to authorities. Yet it's still a young man. The incident happened June 20th, 2025 in East Point. According to a warrant, East Point police officers responded to a call of shots fired just before 8 p.m. near Lakeview Place and Berkeley Road. When officers arrived, they found several shell casings in a parking lot near Building 12. During a wider search, officers located a red Chevrolet Malibu down and embarked in a wooded area about a mile away in the 3500 block of Washington Road. Inside, officers said they found Brandon Cody, aka Bshot, who had been shot. His body was in the driver's seat, according to the warrant. 2 cell phones belonging to Cody were under his feet, and the car had several bullet holes, with both front doors left open. May he rest in peace. And love and condolences to his family. A witness told police that Cody was ambushed by 2 men and a woman. One of the suspects, identified as Javon Clemens, 19 years old. He was arrested at the scene and later confessed to being involved in a robbery plot with a man in his early 40s who was wanted for murder. Marcus Overstreet, 42 years old, and the woman was later identified as Keisha Chapman, 34 years old, who was just arrested a month earlier. Now a month later, Atlanta's oldest YN gets arrested, Marcus Overstreet, 42 years old, taken into custody on July 22, 2025 by the DeKalb County Sheriff's Fugitive Unit. At the time, Marcus was wanted in connection with the homicide in Ellenwood, where Mario Culliver, 36 years old, was shot and killed in a burning vehicle in Atlanta in December of 2024. According to police, officers along with the Atlanta Fire Rescue responded to a vehicle fire on 2092 Wilson Avenue near Wilson Park around 9:30 a.m. When the fire was extinguished, arson investigators found the body in the backseat of the vehicle. Police said that detectives later discovered that the person had multiple gunshot wounds. At the time, there was no identification of the victim or official word on what may have caused the fire, on who we now know to be identified as Mario Culliver, 36 years old as mentioned. May he rest in peace. A love of condolences to his family.
Police are now investigating a body found inside of a burning car. 11 Alive Teresa Bowles is live now from Watley Street. This is not too far from Wilson Park. So Teresa, what can you tell us about this investigation tonight?
Ron, I'm live next to 37 Wadley Street. The fire happened here outside of some affordable housing units on this road that leads to a dead end, a rocky road, and what's left now are some burned car parts on the ground. Take a look. This is the car as it was towed away earlier today. Atlanta police say the body in the back seat had gunshot wounds. I knocked on several doors at the complex, but most neighbors didn't want to talk on camera, but off camera. They told me the fire started as early as 2 in the morning when many were asleep. Some say they woke up to a loud boom, but here's the thing. Residents say they didn't see first responders until hours later. Atlanta Fire Rescue confirmed they found the burning car and a body inside shortly after 7 this morning. Now, this complex has had its issues. 2 years ago, 11 Alive investigated it when it was used for assisted living, but tenants say that's changed. Neighbors told me there have been other incidents here recently, including a shooting just last month, according to APD. However, not everyone is worried. I spoke to Van McGee, who lives across the street.
Right now, I'm not overly concerned. I would like to, find out what really happened and get to the bottom of it. Yeah. The age of the person, or was it murder, homicide?
Right now, we still don't know who was inside of that car. The Fulton County Medical Examiner says finding that out could take several days. Live in West Atlanta, Teresa Bowles, 11 Alive News.
All right, Teresa.
And when Marcus got arrested almost 6 months later after Mario lost his life, it's still unclear on why Mario lost his life. But when it came to Brandon Cody, it was later confirmed in Marcus' arrest report that Cody allegedly lost his life over $500 worth of pills. Now, the arrest in Marcus was released to the public via the local news in Atlanta within the last 24 hours of me doing this video. It was bittersweet for Jose Guapo, because at that time he didn't know. Yet and still he was releasing a track, Still Turn Forever Bshot, released on Metro Boomin' futuristic summer album that was released the same time frame as the local news for the perpetrator who killed Jose Guapo's brother.
When they found me, I was turned. Did my first song when I was 15 and it worked.
Now, Jose Guapo went to Instagram to vent a little when it came to Bshot. He wrote, "Even when it was broke, my brother Bshot was always there." It's crazy, man. Every victim in this story, we do want to say rest in peace and love and condolences to you guys' families once again. We send 11 prayers for everyone who was affected by this story. So know this man, Jose Guapo, lost his dad and his brother just months apart to similar situations over similar circumstances. It's crazy. I'm sending 11 prayers to his entire family. But there you have it, fam. This was the story of really one of Atlanta's oldest YNs doing murders, being on the run, committing more murders, all to be told on by a teenager. Over $500 worth of pills? Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today, I'll catch you guys on the next one.